what's up? Episode 8 is about to begin, but in case you missed it, here's a look back at episode 7. Alright guys, start of day 2. We got to stop by our good buddies Russell and Landon and make fun of them for a while because, you know, they're beating us and we always go against each other pretty hard. Hey, when we saw Landon the other day, we hollered at him a couple times, nothing. And all of a sudden Brent broke out like part of
I realized it was mating season. That dude freaking came alive.
Hey, we were in Belton fishing a high school tournament a while back, and we started on the same hole. There was a boat about 100 yards from it. He goes, hey, I don't mean to scare y'all, but I'm about to call Bigfoot. Then he starts yelling, you know.
Start hollering.
I'm like laying in there calling.
He knew exactly what he was saying. He's like, hey man, he's speaking my language.
You gotta know his love language. You know what I'm saying? Hey, good luck, guys.
Thank you, y'all do.
So now we're off. I wonder if they're still.
Your check-in time is 2:15. We'll be right here to check you in.
Day 2, running down the lake, excited. I mean, we're excited because we left these fish. We figured something out. No one knows about them, we think. We're gonna get to start on them. It's morning time. Like, fish bite in the morning time, right? So we pull up, and of course, there are some guys on that point. But you can see they're far enough away. That's why we knew this is something special over here. And we're gonna get after it. A couple maybes, right? And I'm throwing a maybe right off the bat. I'm throwing the big giant mega dog, right? Because I'm like, hey man, I saw what was over here. I saw that big fish trying to eat that other fish that was huge. And I'm going, hey, I'm gonna throw something big at him. It's cranking around. He's got I think a shower blow on, but it doesn't really matter. We're gonna do a bunch of different things. So what we're having to figure out is we're having to learn the spot and figure out what they're gonna eat at the same time, because we know the general area of where it all went down, but just because that fish, sometimes when you see a fish blow up, doesn't mean it's actually on the right spot. Like I said, that fish blew up, but where Brent caught that big one was not the same spot. I mean, it's the same, it's within the same cast, but sometimes there's specific cast right where fish are. So we're trying to figure it out. Like that, we know that there's this, it's a ridge kind of. We don't know how deep it is on the other side. Is it all flat up there? Is it drop off on the other side? Is there a saddle in the middle of this little ridge? We don't even know how shallow the ridge is, but we get to fishing around. We end up throwing a topwater over everything and kind of making a big circle around. And we were right. It's deep on the other side. So it's kind of like this weird little ridgy point. It's very shallow on top. We were surprised about how shallow it was. It was not more than 3 foot. So that fish that blew up was very shallow. So we're kind of figuring that out, that it was really shallow. Where Brent caught his though, wasn't. It was on the drop off where I'd got my bites. So we're thinking, okay, there could be one up there. If one's up there, it's probably gonna eat right away. But if not, we'll drag off the side of it, crank around the side of it, the bottom of it, and try to catch them there. Now, while all this is going on, we're trying all kinds of different things, right? I'm throwing a swing head out there. I've thrown a Carolina rig out there. Brent's going back to the Carolina rig. But we can still see these other guys on this other point where I'm sure the other point's probably better, maybe, in a sense of, it kind of depends on what you call better. It's probably more consistent. Little fish probably get up there, maybe some big ones, but I think this spot's special. So we keep fishing. We're watching them because they are catching fish over there. So they are biting. And that bothers us a little bit because we're not really getting bit. Throwing out there, Brent ends up getting bit, sets the hook. No. Is it a fish? Yeah, it's a fish. You only know? I don't know. I was wondering. We're kind of watching, looking. Yeah, drum. Ben said he caught a lot of drum out here. Well, he's talking about Ben Matsubu. We had seen Ben Matsubu while we were fishing this point as well. He was kind of out there further deeper. And we saw Ben and his partner every day at the gas station. So we talked to him every single morning leading up to this event. So catches a drum, doesn't help. I get bit, set the hook, nothing, right? Fishing around and we're trying everything. Like I said, shallow, deep, all the way around. We fished this for a while. We never catch a bass. It's again, the morning lets us down. Like big time. Like we kind of thought we're gonna have to catch one or two off this to kind of get our day going. But we're like, okay, we can't sit here forever. We gotta make a move. But I mean, we stayed there a long time, guys. I want to emphasize that. We stayed there longer than what we normally do. But like I said, we're trying to figure everything out. So we leave. What we're wondering is this, is we could go all the way down there, but let's try that grass. Nothing seems to be really that good. So let's try go that grass a little bit early. Catch some fish doing that. It's kind of blowing really hard. In fact, it's blowing really, really hard. Like when we get there, you can see the wind is howling. And so we're fishing around, and I can't catch anything. Brent finally catches a couple, right? So he catches a couple, that helps out. I start getting bit. It's a white bass. Then it's a small one. Then I lose one, but it doesn't matter. It's not even big. It goes where we have all these great expectations of what's going to happen. And then this. Isn't this what fishing is all about, guys? I mean, does it ever really work out like we want it to? No. And our day is just kind of just heading in the wrong direction. You kind of start to wonder, man, it's just not gonna happen. We're trying everything. We're zigzagging. This is the same place I caught that big one on the hybrid hunter the day before. So we're fishing more of it. We're fishing further out. Eventually, Brent gets another one. We have one miss. We're starting to figure out this spot more and more. And every time we go up there shallow, we don't catch anything, right? And so we're catching them further and further out deep in the grass, which is kind of what happened the day before. We started catching them further and further out away from the grass. That's where I caught my big one. So we go back through there and we're debating on some things. We're not the guys, like I told you, to worm around a bunch. I see guys worming the grass all the time. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. But I'm going, Brent, we gotta try it a little bit, right? We got to. So I break out my cutter worm, a big one, and I start throwing it around. Nothing. Then me and Brent get to talking again. I said, hey man, we're like, what about a swim jig? What about a swim jig going through there? He's throwing the flashy swimmer on the Raid swimmer, but that's kind of a little bit hovers over the grass. We want something to kind of get in the grass and kind of go up because the grass is splotchy. So I'm like, let's throw my swim jig, you know? So I break out the Strike King half ounce heavy cover swim jig and I start throwing it around and I'm trying that. And then I go back to my worm, right? And so now I'm throwing my worm some more and I get a bite. I'm going, uh-oh, there it is, right? They're here. We've just been fishing over them. Boy, I set the hook. Yeah, we're not fishing over them. It's little one. It's little one. So we worm around some more. Just doesn't matter what we do up shallow or in the grass. We catch small ones. And we just can't get a big one. But it's blowing so hard, we don't really know what we want to do. This is where things change, guys. This is the part of the entire show, right, where things start to change. And what I mean by that is we've done different things. We've been out here for 3 days and a couple hours. We kind of know how everything sets up, but every time we go out there deep, it's hard for us to get bites. Every time we go up shallow, we get bites, but it's hard to catch big ones. We've tried the shallow grass, we've tried the deep grass, we've tried everything. but we keep pressing on. And this is what's hard. You got to think about this, guys. We caught them pretty good on day one. We almost had 20 pounds. We're, I think, in 11th place. We're right there. So I have a good idea of how to catch them to a degree. Now we could stick with that plan and try to squeeze out 20 pounds. That ain't us though. That ain't us. I don't want to get lucky. I don't want it to be like yesterday. I don't like what happened yesterday. This is what fishing is all about, right? Is having the guts to kind of go, you know what? Forget it. Just forget everything, man. We don't mind going and practicing and kind of like going off the rails. Get through at the end of that grass and we look up and we're like, okay, let's put some things into perspective. A pocket that's really close right over here. It's the same pocket that Brent tried to fish a little bit. It's the same pocket that Brent tried to take me to go fish. And both times we went there, it was blowing. The sun wasn't up really that great. It was hard to see. And there was so much grass, we didn't know how to fish it. And that grass was deeper, stringier. And there was, oh, it was so much of it, so much of it. But I'm going, hey, there's some deeper grass. Let's see if we can't catch a big one in that deeper grass. So we go over there. I'm not fishing with this great plane.
I see it.
I'll be honest with you, I'm just throwing. I'm just throwing out there. I don't really, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right to me. But you know what? I've done everything else. So we're going and going, I get bit. I catch one. Like, okay, deeper grass. So I get it to us, but comes off. No big deal, win a big one. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Boom, catch another one. It's a little bit bigger. I think it's our biggest one now. I get him in the boat and I'm going, all right, okay, this deeper grass, we got something going. We got something going. So we keep fishing, and then nothing, and nothing. So we kind of look around like back to square one. And we kind of look over all this grass and it's sunnier. You can see, it's still blowing, but you can see better. We're looking and I'm like, well, okay, it looks a little bit different out there in the middle. Let's go try it. So we just kind of go off in the middle of all this grass and we're talking acres of it, acres of it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We found some little like weird little depressions and some other little things, little holes and gaps and things. Fish up, nothing. And at this point, I've made it halfway through here. I don't know, I'm just fishing. I'm just, like I said, sometimes I just go. I'm looking for one spark, like one something, just something to show me something. Keep going, throwing my swim jig again. I said, Brent, I don't even know what he's throwing because we're switching it up constantly. Throwing top waters, we're throwing rage swimmers, we're just mixing it up. Like I said, we're looking for something to clue us in. Boom, I get bit on a swim jig, out, kind of random, just absolutely random in the grass. I was going, okay, you know, and at that point we didn't even know if it was gonna help. We were kind of thinking about it. Okay, yeah, I might as well go, you know, cull it. Although we're talking we don't have any, we don't have 10 pounds right now. So we keep going. And I get pretty much where it runs out. And I look up and there's a gap up there, you know, a little kind of a hole. And I bomb up there, but as you can see, it's blowing real bad. I bomb up there, I get right on the edge of the hole, and I got like a little backlash. So the fish blew up, right? I never moved it. It blew up when it hit the water. Well, I was just sitting there and I was trying to get my little backlash out and I catch it. I'm going, that's a bite on a Chapo. Remember what that is? I don't remember what a bite on a Chapo is. It's been so long. I have thrown this stupid bait in the tournament in the second day of practice and now 4 hours into this thing and I have yet to have a bite on it again, besides when it was so easy at first. And I'm going, finally. But it did kind of bite it when it was just sitting there. So I'm going, okay, whatever. But at least it was something. And it was a pretty decent one compared to all the other ones we've had. So we kind of get up there a little closer, and that gap's a little bit bigger than what I thought. I throw around, and all of a sudden I bomb it way out there. And I'm reeling it, and watch me pause for a second. Okay, now I paused. It doesn't look like I did this on purpose, but I did. I got right to the edge of the grass, and I decided, I was looking at my screen, and it was all nasty and dirty on my depth finder. So I was gonna wash it off, and I'm like, why not wash it off while my bait's sitting in the water on the edge of the grass? It bit. Now, it wasn't a big one, but the way it exploded, two things were going on. One, it wanted it. Two, has it seen a bait? Like, has it seen a bait in a while? Because both those fish acted like they ain't seen a bait in a while. That's gonna come back into play. So now that's 2 bites. Where I have not been able to get bite on it in days and hours, that's 2 bites in about 3 minutes. So, okay, so now we got, that's that light switch, that's that spark, that's that something to get us kind of going. So we weren't there a couple minutes, and all of a sudden, Brent's like, hey.
Oh, dude, turn around, left. Big one. There's freaking school, dude. Put that down. Put that on top of the water.
And I could hear him too. He's like, look over there. Well, they start blowing up. So, I mean, here you go. Watch what happens.
Dude, I'm gonna net it.
I catch that one, right? I think Brent missed another one. We know there was more than one there. And so now there's a little school of them to a degree. But that was the only one we caught. So now we're calling. We got like, here we go. Like, what's going on? What is going on? And what has changed? What did we find? We don't know. And those are the things instantly that go on our head. Day different, where we're at different, what's all different. And then the whole process of this entire series that I'm making should start going through your head again. Just because we're catching fish, we don't ever stop thinking about why and where and what's going on and everything. We just know we're catching them. We're not yet ready to start making these crazy decisions about what's going on. We're just processing everything we got. Keep going. Now, what's on Brent's mind is okay, should I be throwing a top water? What should I throw? You're getting bit on that. He didn't want to throw the same thing. Why? I'm throwing it. He instantly starts thinking differently too. What can I do behind him, right? What can I do? Because we just don't believe in throwing the same thing. Usually, especially like a top water, they're probably going to bite it when it gets to them. So Brent's like, I'll keep throwing the Rage Swimmer. So now all of a sudden we get to another little opening and throw out there. And Brent gets bit, right? It doesn't eat it. And he keeps reeling on it, then catches one, right? Luckily, watch this. I wasn't about to get the net because I knew why I didn't want to get the net. When the first one bit it, he said, hey man, she came back and got it. I was sitting here thinking to myself, nuh-uh. There was more than one in there. One hit it, and it didn't eat it, and then a second one got it, is what was going on in my head. I wanted to throw back in there, but luckily I didn't net it, right? Because it came off when he lifted it up. So we got that one. I throw out there once or twice, and now as I'm reeling it right to the edge of the grass again, I see one try to kind of get it, and then I reeled it, and it hit the edge of the mat of the grass. And it was trying to get on the mat of the grass to eat it. Look, I got my hooks in the grass now, so I pick up my swim jig, fire it off in there. I missed that one. I was like, gosh dang it. It was mad because, like I said, we got this ball rolling now. I mean, we got it going, right? Nothing giant, but we got it going. And we're going, okay, here we go. So we get like a couple more bites in there, catch another fish or two, nothing big. But we just went from nothing to like, it's going, and it's going good and everything. Just kind of keep moving down the bank. And we get a bite here, we get a bite there. I catch one, it's not a big one. Here's where it gets interesting. We got a decision to make. So once again, we're up shallow, in the grass, getting bit with about 12 pounds. So what we got is about 12 pounds. 12 pounds ain't gonna do nothing. And now we're sitting here going, this is great. We might catch one decent one, maybe, but that's still not gonna do it. So it's kind of hurry up, we'll get through this, you know, we'll catch a couple more fish or whatever, and then we'll probably go deep, right? I know it's still blowing a little bit, but we're gonna go deep, we're gonna go to those trees, we're gonna go, we got some things now to get that energy and that whatever it takes to get going again. So we're kind of jacked up. And we're going, okay, so we're talking about every place we want to go. So I asked him, like, do you think we can catch a big one doing this? I mean, do you really think we can catch a big one? That's what's in our heads. And I mean, yeah, but let's go win this thing. Let's go try to win this thing. So we're going, okay, this is what the plan is now. Our plan has just changed. I know we were getting all these bites, and that's great and everything, but we've got to make a decision. We're gonna make a decision, and it's about to change everything. And you'll find out about that. Get ready, guys. Might just get a little bit wild. See ya.